you told me that you also trained with a Jackie Chan's team,
Yes.
stunt team. Can you tell me a bit how that came to be? Or
Yeah. So I was midway through Mortal Kombat 2. We'd just finished that, and now we've just finished it. But and we had an actors' strike, which meant, and it was like one of the biggest ones in history, and it was all about the AI technology and all this kind of stuff, and it shut down basically the whole world for the film industry for, I think it ended up being almost 4 or 5 months. Like, it was quite a substantial amount of time. But as a stuntman, I'm like, no way, guilt-free time off. I'm going to go train this and train that. And so I hit up my mentor, a guy called Chan Griffin, and he's an amazing human. And I was like, hey, I want to go do a Taekwondo training camp. I really want to get good at kicks, like crazy good at them. And he's like, Dex, have you seen this yet? And he sent me this thing, and the Jackie Chan stunt team were offering a stunt training camp for about 2 weeks. And they were selecting people for it. And you just had to apply. You just had to send in like your stunt reel, answer some questions, and then based on that, they would pick you whether or not you would get to go to Beijing and go do this thing. And I was like, no. But again, like, I'm going to listen to my mentor. I'm going to do what he says. If he thinks it's a good idea, I do it. I'm going to apply to it. And so I did. And then 2 days later, I got in and I was selected. And then I was running around trying to get this visa sorted, because to get a visa for China is probably the most difficult for an Australian. We're pretty lucky, and most of our visa processes are pretty simple. And had to book the flights, because you have to pre-book the flights, and then the accommodation is all sorted with this camp that we're doing. And yeah, I went for, I think it was 3.5 weeks I went in the end to Beijing. And it was the most important trip of my life in terms of stunts. They are so skilled and amazing, but so humbly confident. It's a weird 2 words to put together, but there's such a huge aspect in Australia of self-deprecating, and we do it in all aspects of our lives, and especially in stunts. You know, you don't want to be seen showing too much confidence, because then that's an opportunity for someone to come and cut you off at the knees, sort of thing, or a bit of tall poppy syndrome. Like, it's a thing here in Australia a bit, and these guys are just so humbly confident in that. You could ask them like, have you ever tried like a bit of BJJ? And they're like, no, but I've trained really hard my whole life, so I believe I could learn that really quickly if I needed to. Or do you use a spear at all with your Shaolin Kung Fu? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm really good at that. And you're just like, man, that is so amazing that you can say that. You know, here we would say, yeah, I'm not very good at it though, because you don't want to say that you're good at it in case someone's like, oh shit, yeah, you're not good at it. And I learned this amazing thing from them, and that was just that I had been self-deprecating so much in my life with all aspects of these kind of things. And it's such a simple thing, like, just be like, I'm not very good at that, but I'll give it a try. And that's a really nice way to be. But at some point when you do it enough, and there's a famous quote from Bruce Lee about this, basically, you start to believe it yourself that you're not good enough, and then you hold yourself back. And so I learned from them to not be like that as much, and to stop holding myself back. And they just unleashed a whole new level within me because of it. And I have some amazing lifelong friends from that trip, and it was super intense. Like, every single day was at least a 16-hour day of training or editing or doing some kind of homework or aspect of a project that we had to do to complete. And all these different people from around the world of different skill sets, different knowledge bases. It was an amazing trip, and I'm so glad it happened, and it's stayed with me for a long time. And hopefully will stay with me forever, like a lot of the things that they taught me. So I love it.
Such an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And the stunt team of Jackie Chan, how is that? Is that like Jackie Chan, like around him when he just, over his whole career, he just accumulated amazing people around him, and that became his team, and that's sort of who you trained with?
Yeah, so he was off filming something at the time in the north of China, but it was run by his right-hand man called He Lao-she, and if you ever see Jackie Chan walking or he's on a film set, you'll generally see this guy right behind him. And he was our main instructor that taught us, and then they would bring in specialists like a Wing Chun guy or a Wushu guy or a second unit director or even a DOP. And these are all people that have built relationships and been absorbed into the Jackie Chan stunt team. I don't know how the minor details of it work, but I know that basically once you're in that team, it seems like when he gets a film or he hears of a film in China that needs some stunt work, he generally is able to facilitate it with his stunt team. And it's such a huge honor to be part of the Jackie Chan stunt team. You know, they've got all this paraphernalia they wear, and it's like a big ceremony and all this kind of stuff, and then you get absorbed into it. And that's kind of what's been drifting into the Western world, and that's why stunt teams are a thing here now too, because it is powerful. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize that with stunt work, we have each other's lives in our hands most days. Like sometimes someone might be pulling my line, which means that I'm attached to a line to do a big rig, like from an explosion. I'm attached to a wire and I've got to flick around. But if that person doesn't prepare to lower me in nicely, or that maybe I get stuck in my costume or something like that, something goes wrong, that they're ready to grab that line and save my life. Because there's guys that have been paralyzed or had serious injuries. So to have a team of people that you know are your like stunt family, and they'll protect you and keep you safe so that you can go home to your family or just even walk home instead of being pushed out in a wheelchair or something like that. It's amazing. So it's great that Jackie Chan and these guys have created this system of a stunt team that's gone into the Western world, because it keeps us all safe.
Wow. Yeah, because especially in a occupation where there's quite some danger, it's nice to have the same people that you trust around you and you can work with.
Yeah, for sure.